Okay, so let's recap where we are with Ghostbusters, in my opinion, right? So we have 1984 movie, which I adored. I thought was absolutely brilliant. I had so much fun with that one. It was really a unique film for me because I had not seen it at the time, and I just really enjoyed it. The second one was just fine. Wasn't great. Kind of lacking a lot of what the first movie had, which was family and heart. But it wasn't unwatchable. 2016, yeah, that movie happened. And now we have this one. And before we get into talking about it, let me just take a sip from this Monster Energy drink. Not sponsored or anything, I'm just really freaking tired. I saw this at midnight this morning. Got about 4 hours of sleep. Now we're up filming, editing, and uploading just for you guys. But yeah, I went into this movie with absolutely zero expectations. I did not know what was going to happen. I didn't really care, honestly. I was kind of like, it's going to be a movie. And I liked it way more than I thought I would. But today we're going to be talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife. Ghostbusters Afterlife was released in 2021. It was written by Gil Kenan and Jason Reitman and directed by Jason Reitman. Now, in case you don't know what the story is, I'll give you the non-spoiler version. Essentially, a granddaughter of one of the original Ghostbusters is left a house when the grandfather dies. Well, I guess the kid wasn't left it, the family was. And so they go to live there in this farmhouse and they discover ghost stuff. That's pretty much the first half of the film. The second half of the film is ripped directly from Ghostbusters 84. And is that a problem? Yes. Yes, it is. It's unfortunate. And now we're going to get into the kind of discussion here. And I do want to say that I like this film a whole lot. And it's going to sound like I'm bashing it, but there's just a lot to talk about that isn't good, but I will get to the good parts. The only real bad thing about the movie that I can, tell, without really thinking too hard, is that it's a Ghostbusters movie, right? This movie, for the first, I don't know, maybe hour, there was almost no Ghostbusters references, right? There was the ghost trap, you could see the ghost logo, but, no one really talked about it, and it wasn't, in my face all the time. And I like that a lot. It felt like a unique original story, the mystery was awesome, the directing was fun, the characters are so cool, and then the second half of the film is, quite literally ripped from 84 with just more references rather than actually doing what they did in the film. And I can see how that's good for some people who really like the 84 version, but for me, it didn't work as well, just because it's predictable. That's my main issue, once I get to the midpoint, I was like, okay, this is gonna happen. And then it did, and I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. But what I will say is I think I did like it more than others. I enjoyed being able to see this movie in the movie theater. I thought it was awesome in the movie theater. And I didn't get to see the 1984 movie in the theaters because I was not born. So for people who had that experience, that must have been insane. But this is my experience. This is my big screen Ghostbusters. This is what I wanted. And I didn't think I was ever gonna get, and I did. And I'm really happy about it because I really do like Ghostbusters. I think it's a cool, concept, cool franchise. It just doesn't work all the time, as per 2016. But I liked this one. I thought that, yeah, while it did rip from 84, I've only seen 84 twice, and this movie, while it did rip a lot from it, and it is a lot of fan service, still is an original story, especially the first half of it with these new characters we introduced, which is mainly Phoebe. Phoebe is the greatest character in any movie. I think I connected with her so much. She's just this tiny nerdy girl who likes to talk about nerdy stuff, and no one else in the world cares to talk to her about it. And I've kind of been in the same boat for a very long time, where I just like watching movies, and I didn't really realize I like watching movies until I got older, and people were like, "You watch a lot of movies." I'm like, yes, I do. And I talk about them a lot, but no one ever watches the movies that I watch because I watch a lot of art films, and no one talks to me about it. But now I have you guys, so thank you for being my audience. So I get what it's like to be on the outside of things, to be kind of away from the group, per se, and to know a lot about things that no one cares about. And that's really what her character is this awkward, funny child who's super nerdy. And her, with Paul Rudd, who plays her summer school teacher, Greg, is fantastic. Paul Rudd is great in this movie. He's great in every movie. Did it need to be Paul Rudd? I don't think it did. I don't think it needed to be Paul Rudd. I'm not mad that Paul Rudd's in it. I liked him a lot. I think he's great. I just like to look at casting decisions and think, is this person meant for this role? And no, the answer is no. Pretty much anyone could have played that role. Except keep Chris Hemsworth away from the movie, please. But like, I felt like, I don't know, it was good. I'm just wondering what it could have been if somebody else had done it. Just curious. What are your thoughts on that? But I thought that the dynamic between the two characters was particularly very good. Finn Wolfhard's character doesn't do anything the whole movie. He cracks a couple jokes that are okay, but like they're not substantial. He's got this weird love interest that feels weird. I mean, it works because they're young and they're teenagers, and they're always like, "Oh, I love you." But like, it didn't work for me just because it felt forced. Like they needed to have a love interest, but they didn't have one, and they're like, "Let's give the girl a brother." Don't think we really needed that. I really don't. Was it fine? Yeah, I think it was. But do we need it? No. And that gets me to the running time, which is a little over 2 hours, which felt very long, particularly in the last half of the film, where you know exactly what's going to happen the whole time. And it is kind of dull. It does dull itself out, particularly at the end. But what keeps it alive is these characters. I mean, Phoebe is a great character. I didn't hate the mom. One of my friends didn't like the mom. I didn't hate her. I mean, yeah, she's a typical mom. Like, there's nothing new there. But I did enjoy, like, the character. I think that she worked with Phoebe and she worked with Paul Rudd a lot. I thought that was kind of fun. The comedy in this movie is my kind of comedy. Like, I laughed at every joke. Nothing went over my head. I loved the comedy in this movie. This is my new guilty pleasure movie. Like, when I want to laugh at something, I'm going to pull this out. Not to laugh at it, but like, the jokes are just, they're my jokes. I love them. I can see why it's not for everybody, but it's definitely my kind of humor. But really what it comes down to, in my opinion, is like, this is the kind of movie that I needed right now. Like, I just wanted to go see a movie and just relax and, like, feel it. It's a super easy movie that's not challenging at all. Like, it doesn't tell you to think anything that you wouldn't already normally think, which is that annoying? Yeah, it can be. But for right now, this is the movie I wanted, this is the movie I needed, and it surpasses 2016 by leagues and leagues and leagues. They're both, I think this one is pretty up there with 84 in my opinion. I know that it's a rather differing opinion than other people, but I really like them both. As somebody who hasn't watched the first one a whole lot of times, it still has the novelty, and this one still shares that novelty. That's kind of the issue with, I think, some people who really like the 84 version, or they're very loyal to it. They're going to either really like this film or really hate this film. They're going to like it a lot because it is what they want, it is what they like, or they're going to hate it because it's pretty much the exact same thing. But to somebody who likes it but doesn't like follow it a whole lot, this movie is exactly what I wanted for a movie theater experience. So I'm going to go ahead and give Ghostbusters Afterlife a B+. Have you guys seen Ghostbusters Afterlife? Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of it. I love talking to you guys. It's definitely my favorite part of being a YouTuber, is like being able to talk to you guys in the comments. I love responding to you guys, so definitely consider putting some stuff down there. Please consider subscribing, because once I get to 200 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a live 8-hour live stream that you're not going to want to miss, so please consider subscribing so you don't miss that. And as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.